Hello and welcome to Hindustan Times. I'm Milanya Datta. It was only a year ago that Iran had hit Israel for the first time from its own territory. It was in response to Israel's alleged attack on its rival's consulate in Syria. Missiles thundered across the country and Iran's top generals fell one by one. But one image stood out. A frail yet unflinching Ayatollah Ali Khamenei addressing a crowd from a bunker-like hall in Tehran. He said, if war is imposed on Iran, he will respond with war. There was no visible army behind him, no IRGC parade, just an old cleric in a black turban. Cut to today, he has braved a full-fledged war with Israel and its no-limits friends, the United States. He was and is still the single most powerful man in Iran. How did a quiet cleric from a poor family come to rule a revolutionary state, defy the US for over 3 decades, and build a geopolitical machine that spans 4 countries? And what happens when this chapter closes? Ali Husseini Khamenei was born on April 19, 1939 in Mashhad to a modest cleric family of Azeri descent. His father was a religious scholar of modest income. Their home reportedly didn't even have running water until Khamenei was in his teens. From a young age, Khamenei was immersed in Islamic studies, eventually joining the seminary in Qom, where he became a student of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the revolutionary firebrand who would change Iranian history forever. It did not take long for Khamenei to find his calling. In the 1960s, he began delivering sermons against the Shah, aligning himself with Khomeini's anti-monarchy movement. For this, he was repeatedly arrested by Savak, the Shah's secret police, spent time in solitary confinement, internal exile, and interrogation cells. When the 1979 Islamic Revolution overthrew the Shah, Khamenei was ready. He joined the new Islamic Republic's inner circle almost immediately. He became Deputy Defense Minister, helped organize the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, and served as Friday prayers leader in Tehran, a role with enormous political weightage. In 1981, after a deadly bombing killed Iran's president and prime minister, Khamenei narrowly survived an assassination attempt himself. He lost the use of his right arm permanently. Later that year, he became president of Iran, the only cleric to ever hold the post, serving 2 terms until 1989. While president, he clashed with then Prime Minister Mir Hossein Mousavi over economic policies and war effort against Iraq. When Khomeini died in the year 1989, the Assembly of Experts was faced with a dilemma. Khamenei was loyal, experienced, and politically savvy, but he did not hold the highest clerical rank. Still, through a mix of urgency and constitutional amendments, he was named the supreme leader of Iran. His authority would only grow thereon. He appointed key members of the Guardian Council, oversaw the judiciary, and gained control of Iran's military, intelligence services, and state media. Over time, the role of the elected president became largely symbolic. Real power was concentrated under him. He also took over EIKO, execution of Imam Khomeini's order. It is the most powerful and most opaque economic empire in Iran, built from confiscated assets, estimated to be worth $95 billion by Reuters. Through this and IRGC-affiliated companies, Khamenei built a financial empire parallel to the state. Under Khamenei, Iran expanded its reach across the region. What began as ideological solidarity evolved into what the West now calls axis of resistance, a network of proxy forces and political clients, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, now ousted Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria, Shia militias in Iraq, and the Houthis in Yemen, and of course, Hamas in Gaza.
Those who claim non-Palestinians are behind what Palestinians do, don't know the Palestinian nation. They underestimate the Palestinian nation. That is their mistake.
For most of his rule, Khamenei treated Iran's nuclear program like a loaded gun in a locked drawer, denying any intention to use it while making sure everyone knew it was there. Officially, Iran never sought a nuclear weapon, and Khamenei himself issued a religious fatwa, repeatedly reaffirming since the early 2000s that declaring the possession and use of nuclear weapons is haram, forbidden under Islam. But behind that was a deeply strategic mind. Under Khamenei's watch, Iran's nuclear ambitions accelerated, enrichment expanded, centrifuge production increased, and though Iran never tested a bomb, the IAEA and Western intelligence agreed the knowledge was there.
I repeat that the Islamic Republic of Iran is not developing capabilities for nuclear weapons, but also Iran will not overlook the rights of its people and their need for access to peaceful nuclear energy.
Back at home, Khamenei's legacy is bloodstained. In 1999, 2009, 2017, 2019, and most explosively in 2022, Iran saw waves of mass protests, often led by students, workers, and women. The 2022 uprising sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini was met with brutal crackdown. Hundreds were killed, thousands arrested, internet blackouts swept the country.
I say clearly that these riots and insecurities were designed by America and the usurping and fake Zionist regime.
Yet, in each case, Khamenei outlasted the rage. Through loyalty from security forces and a deeply entrenched patronage system, he's maintained control. But trust in the system has been fractured. Remember, turnout in the 2024 parliamentary elections was below 41%, the lowest since 1979, the revolution. Khamenei outlasted 6 US presidents, a global sanctions regime, a war in Syria, an insurgency in Iraq, and a general rebellion at home. But perhaps his most defining moment came in the aftermath of the latest war. Speaking to the nation through state media and to the world through posts on X, he positioned himself not just as a cleric, but as a wartime commander. Succession has always been Iran's most sensitive subject, rarely acknowledged in public, often whispered in religious and political circles. But Khamenei knew this moment could come, a time when the US and Israel might aim for the very top of Iran's power structure. So he made a move few expected. He named his possible successors. In normal times, Khamenei governs from his fortified complex in central Tehran. But as missiles rained and pressure mounted, he vanished into a bunker, reportedly communicating only through trusted aides. But even in isolation, he remained in control. His orders were followed, his words were broadcast, his image untarnished. That's the strength and contradiction of his legacy. Behind the black turban lies a paradox, a man of the mosque who rules like a general. For over 3 long decades, Khamenei fused religion with hard power, turning the Islamic Republic into a theocratic fortress with himself at its very center. The Islamic Republic may survive his absence one day, but will never again be what it was with him. I'm Amini. Thanks for watching Hindustan Times.